One of my favorite parts about streaming is putting things out there that I created. Mainly my designs and my layout of my stream. And if you've seen my OBS tutorial on layering out a just chatting scene and my video on a gaming scene, which will be out this week. If it's not out already, it will be out this week. You will see in those videos the process of putting that together in OBS. But what I didn't put in those videos are actually creating some of the things that I showed you. Now in this video, I will be going over one, that border for the camera, and talking about the layers, talking about how simple it is and how easy it is to do, and how anyone can do it. Also, we'll be creating a new one, possibly the one that I'm going to use in the future. Can't guarantee that yet. We'll see how it comes out, and I'll let you know at the end of the video if I decide to make it my new one. Welcome back to the Rebel Tech channel. I'm Justin, and I'm very excited to teach you guys this. This is something that I've really wanted to talk about for a while, but I've been waiting to feel comfortable enough and get my skills up to a point where I can actually back up what I'm saying. And I'm not the best designer. I'm still learning. I'm always going to be learning. But I feel very, very proud of what I've created and what I will create in the future. Hopefully I'm proud of what I make in the future. You never know. No, probably. Even if it sucks, I'm proud that I made it. So we are going to go over this step by step, try to make it as easy as possible and so that anyone can do it. As always, you can leave comments down in the comments section. I'll be happy to talk to you guys and answer questions down there. If you want to talk to me or ask me questions directly, I stream every Saturday afternoon, nightish, an hour on this channel, and then I switch over to Twitch, twitch.tv/ghettohappy. So just give me a follow over on Twitch and you'll know when I go live. And if you found this video helpful, entertaining, or anything whatsoever, please leave a like and consider subscribing. Alright, so let's get rolling right into it. As you can see here, we're in Affinity Photo, a very, very good and very, very useful piece of technology and software that rivals the powerhouse known as Photoshop. But the major thing is, you buy this software. You don't subscribe to it, unlike Adobe's Creative Cloud or whatever you have in it. You can buy this by one purchase and just have it, own it. That's it. And it doesn't go along the lines of the subscribe model, which is really, really nice. So without me babbling on, let's get into this design. And this is the design that I showed off in my OBS video of making a just chatting scene. You also saw it in my gaming scene video, which I said comes out sometime this week. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna just explain to you what's going on. So as you can see here, it's a simple design. What I did here is simply just gradient one end to the other from a gray to a black. Simple enough, nothing too crazy. Gradients are very simple to do. All you do is take the gradient tool here and you could see the layer that it laid over it and the path of the gradient. Very simple, nothing too crazy. So how do we get to the point of actually using this as a border? Because I like this. Yes, you could take this, export it as a PNG, and punch your camera right over it. It might look a little silly. But what you can do to get it just right and get it pretty perfect is you're going to have to cut out, like cookie cutter, out the center for your camera. And when you go to my OBS video, I talk about a mask. And that's what we're going to create right now. Well, actually, I'm going to show you what I created. So inside this is where your camera is going to be. Now you can choose any like design within it, like rounded edges or sharp edges or different edges whatsoever. So right here you have that layer. It's not activated right now, but when we activate it, it's put in the center. Now, if you are using Affinity, the best thing to do is right click, transform, alignment, center, and middle. This guarantees that this will be in the center. That mask is going to be in the center, and that cookie cutter punch out is going to be right in the center of your border. So now how do you punch this out? It's a very simple thing, but it was not something that came very easily to me. What you do is you take right here, you see this drop down menu, and it's a bunch of different options, and you're going to use the erase function, which is basically just taking that design, that shape, and punching it out, and you can see that it's transparent in the center, and you have your border. All you're going to do now is Control Alt Shift S. That's how you export in Affinity. Choose a PNG and whatever size you want it, whatever size it ends up being, and export it. All right, so now that we have the cookie cutter out, we need to go back to where it was, and we need to copy this. The reason why we're copying this is because that is your mask. That's the mask that's going to cut out the edges around your camera border, a camera feed, to allow it to sit in this camera border seamlessly. And all you're going to do, take this exact one, right click, copy, make a new layer, or new, I keep saying layer. This is a new palette. I like to call it a palette because kind of like painting, Bob Ross style. And you're going to paste it here. Disregard that stuff, but you just want the shape. And I usually make it either white or black. Either way, it should be fine. I haven't used any other colors, but white or black works. And if you see my OBS video on that stuff, I show you how to cut out that and the whole specifications based on making it a masked out border. So now that we got that out of the way, let's start off and let's make a new one. Maybe even one that I'm going to use in the future. I'm going to make a 1920 by 1080 palette, because that's the biggest the frame's going to be for me. It's going to be scaled down, so it's not a big deal. I could also use it for a bigger one. I have a scene where I have art and I have a border around it. Maybe I'll make another one specific to that, but this is just to get the basics so that anyone can do it and anyone can create something that they like, be it the same thing I do with different colors or the same colors or whatever. So let's go look at these shapes. I have an idea. So I have sharp edges around the outside and rounded edges on the inside. Let's do the opposite. Let's go rounded edges on the outside and sharp edges on the inside. Give it a shot. Why not? Try things. And what we're going to do, like I said, center, middle. That gets things ready to go. Now, we're going to get the color right. Do this first. It makes it a lot easier than, oh, we're going to cookie cutter and then... No, don't do it that way. Don't do this after. Don't do the color after. Get your colors right before. It's easier. And we're going to do... Maybe we give it a hint of color. But we're going to start off with the grayscale. We're going to go black right now. And as I said before, you use the gradient tool. Start off from one, you drag it. One edge to the other. And now to access that gradient, you go here. So inside this gradient map, I call it a map, you're going to have your left point and your right point. This is from one end to the other. And we're going to go a little bit lighter on this one. And this one, I think I want to make it like a crimson. There we go. Just a hint. Nothing too crazy. Now you see that's a little red there into a gray. At this point now, we're going to make the mask. And as I said, I'm going to put the sharp edges in the center as opposed to on the outside and basically invert it. So you're going to take that. It's going to be the same colors, but no big deal. And get it as close as you can to where you want the camera to be. If you want, you can use this as a rectangle if you'd like. But if you want to get a little more fancy, let's see what we could do with it. You could do that. And you can adjust them like that. And don't worry about getting it just right. Get it roughly where you want it. That looks about right. So you're going to go right click, alignment center, alignment, and middle. And that looks pretty good. So at this point now, you go over to here, select the one that you want to cut out, be the punch, which is the mask one. And you're going to go to erase. And there you go. There's your new border with the mask. Now, go back to normal, press V to select, and you're going to copy this. Make a new palette. Same frame, so same dimensions, so 1920 by 1080 in this case. Just make sure it's the same palette so it matches and you don't have an issue with putting them together later on. And you're going to go Control V. And there it is. At this point, you go back to here, you erase. And now you can just go ahead, Control, Alt, Shift, that, export both of them. And at that point, you save it to whatever folder you want and select them in OBS as your sources for the mask and the border. Let's export it flat. Just export it flat. That's a good idea. Export it flat first so that you have the one option if you decide to use just the flat version. And then you can X out of it. Same thing with this. So we're going to go with a beveled edge. That looks pretty good. So then you turn it off, turn it on. Look at the difference. And try the 3D like I was saying before. Ooh, kind of like that. Look at that. That's pretty cool. So now that we have roughly what we want, and I could totally hate it when I put it into OBS, but for now, I like it. We're going to do one more thing. I want to mess around with something. Now, a lot of times when you're adding a glow, you can't really see it with this transparent background. So what I like to do is you take a black box. Like that. So what I was doing before is this glow is going to be like, I want some type of frosty edge to this. There we go. 50. On and off. Yeah, very subtle. I like that. And of course, you could do shadows, inner and outer. So if we were to do, I know what an outer shadow would look like because it would just be casting a shadow on everything else. I want this at 60. 60%, and then a radius ever so slightly, and turn it on and off. Yeah, that's nice. And what we're gonna do here is export it. All right, so we're in OBS now, and I'm gonna just show you how this is going to look. So we're gonna change this image to our new border, which is webcam border 2.5. Like that. I actually really like that. We're gonna click OK. At this point, we're going to add our source, and we're going to need a source. Where are you? There it is. Now, we need to add that mask. We're going to go filters. I apologize if this is a little laggy because everything is running all at once. Running 2 OBS sessions at once on this computer, it's pushing its limits. So same thing as before, mask alpha channel, and you're going to browse for the new one. So mask 2.0. Gonna go okie dokie. And now we can just make this fit. Now let's see how it looks. Okay, so here's another thing. If you're going from scene to scene and you're changing things, you got to change it for all of them. See how we went back to this one? Now you got to change it. And then simply choose the folder. Bring it back to size. Don't worry if it's a little bit wonky like that, but as long as the camera and everything that you want is in frame, you could just close that out. And then the gameplay is going to be right there. We lock that preview. And there's your new border. Anybody can do it. All you got to do is get Affinity and don't worry about subscription fees. Just pay for it once. Not sponsored by Affinity, by the way, but highly recommend their stuff. It's got a lot of features, and sure, there are things that you might miss out with Affinity that you wouldn't miss out with Adobe, but that's what you pay for. You pay for having a little less. Maybe. They're always updating it, so they might add some more things. And there's probably things that I haven't even noticed they have. So do some research, and highly recommend Affinity. Alright, so that is how you make a camera border in Affinity Photo. Very simple design. It's not animated, but it's something that you can play around with and have a lot of fun making a design that is yours, and be proud to know that you have a design that you created on your stream. It's not going to be perfect at first, and it's not going to be something that you may like fully at first, but at least you made it. And you can say to people that, hey, I did this and I'm looking to make it better, and you can take suggestions and things like that. I highly recommend people leaving suggestions on what I should change, ideas that you guys have, and of course please be constructive in the comments. It's something I'm all about. I'm all about being positive but critiquing. I'm fine with critiquing and being constructive, that's all. So thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please hit the like button down below. It helps this video, helps this channel so much. And consider subscribing for more videos like this, more videos, more tutorials, more gear reviews, more everything. If there's things that you want me to talk about or things you want me to cover, please in the comments as well. I'm looking for more things to do and more things to cover. I have a laundry list of things that I am going to make, but if you guys tell me what you want me to do, I will put it on the list. I'll write up a script and all that stuff. And if you want to ask me things more directly, I stream every Saturday afternoon, right around 4 or 5 o'clock my time, Eastern American. And yeah, I stream about an hour on this channel doing dot art in the Marvel books and the Spider-Man books. They're a lot of fun. I really enjoy them, and I'll be happy to answer questions during then. And then I switch over to Twitch, where I play video games and talk to you guys. So until next time, be safe, be kind. If you go out, please wear a mask. We're coming to a point where we might get a vaccine. We're probably going to get a vaccine. Trying to stay positive, and fingers crossed that everything will work out by the end of 2021. We'll be back to some type of normalcy. And of course, I will see you in the next video. Oh, the guy's getting a shave. Oh, man, that would have been bad if I
bumped him at the wrong moment, we're gonna have a Sweeney Todd situation. Hello, everyone.